The other day, I woke up and checked my phone to realize that this day was going to be just like all the other days. I'm going to get up, get ready for a job that I don't particularly care for, to work for people who don't particularly care about me, to buy things to impress people I don't particularly care for. And then it hit me.
I have an idea.
Really? What is it?
Let's leave.
And so I did, and here I am amongst all my glorious treasures. But why would I leave a stable job that has a 401k and has health benefits to sell junk online and talk about it on the internet? Come on, I'll show you why. In all honesty, I was super nervous to leave, but ultimately the decision came down to the fact that my business was growing rapidly and I needed to focus more on that. I realized that I could sustain myself just off of the reselling income alone, and that's when I decided it's time to take the leap of faith. Funny thing is, one of the reasons I did leave my job was because I was working so much between that and the business and trying to maintain a YouTube channel that I felt like I was working myself to death. But now with just the business and YouTube going along, I feel like I'm still working just as much, but I don't feel nearly as stressed as I was when I worked at my job. My traditional job was just an empty 9-to-5 that made me feel hollow on the inside, and realistically, I didn't feel very good whenever I clocked out at the end of the day. Between having to deal with customer service and employers putting more on your plate for the same amount of pay, realistically, it just was getting to a point where I felt like I was unappreciated. Working in the customer service industry is draining enough without having to deal with more stuff on your plate. Trust me, if you've ever worked in the customer service industry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Funny enough though, every time I hit a thrift store, whether it was a lunch break or one of the days that I was off, I felt amazing, and I realized that this income is sustainable. Every time I hit a thrift store or pick up an item, I feel amazing whenever I find an item that's well undervalued that I can go ahead and get to the proper person who will pay the right price for it. Sometime when I was working my other career though, I realized that the thrifting and the YouTube thing could be my full-time career. I just needed to work at it. So here's what I decided to do.
Now, obviously, I have a very long road ahead of me here, and walking away from stability is something that I think a lot of people fear. I, for one, honestly never thought I would have the stones to leave the stability like that, but I decided that this was in my best interest for my mental and physical health.
So enough talking about it, it's time to be about it. I'm gonna go ahead and take you out to a couple thrift stores with me. I'll show you real quick what I do, why I'm doing it, and how I'm actually able to sustain a livable income.
All right, guys, so we are at the first Goodwill location. I don't come to this location often because the products weren't very good, but I'm hoping, since I haven't come here, a lot of other resellers and stuff haven't been coming here, see if they might have some stuff that we can make some money on. So I'll see you guys inside. I'll start recording when we get in there and see what all I can find while we're there.
All right, so as we get in here to this massive media section, I did find these Guild Wars video game expansion packs. They looked really, really good, and I was just like, I might take them all. But unfortunately, they weren't worth much. I found this Jillian Michaels DVD here. I found this Oprah Winfrey 20th anniversary set. I found a Friday Night Lights of first season. I thought all of these things might be good, but they all turned out to be junk. The At Risk was a bad one. The Rev Abs Always Pick Up Beachbody. That's 100% a recommendation from me all the time. Again, just going over these couple Guild Wars things that I found. I thought they might be worth it, but they were all open and used. The Leapster, Dora, the Explorer, some of those can go for big money, just not that one. Anytime you get like NBA things, that type of stuff can go good too. Other Leapfrog type products can go for big money, so make sure you double check those. Rewritable DVDs sell pretty well. Anything religious, usually like Christian songs and stuff like that sell well. Learning languages and stuff like that sell pretty well if it's not too old. Again, another Leapster thing I found that was used. None of this stuff was worth it pretty much, except for a couple things. So I'll go over those in a couple seconds with you, just to show you what I'm talking about. The other thing I found too was this Disney Infinity figures. These are a follow-up to my last Disney Infinity figures I actually found. So I'll go over those in a little bit though.
All right, folks, so I think we did take a little bit of an L on that trip. Most of the stuff wasn't worth it. One thing I did find was this Esteban Songs from My Heart CD rather. It was on sale for half price. It was only 50 cents. Brand new, sealed in the package. Should make me about 15 bucks. I'll post it like somewhere out of the way of my face. And then the other thing we ended up getting was this Rev Abs workout. It's an ab workout from Beachbody. I always tell people, always pick up Beachbody. The stuff sells so fast and it sells at a premium, especially if it's sealed. I mean, most of the stuff I sell anywhere from $30 to $50 just for the single set. So this one's like a $25, $30 set. They didn't have a price price on it. And I was like, hey, I found this by the DVDs. Like, what's the price of this? So she comes to the back, and then they come back with a $5 price tag. A lot cheaper than what I'm used to paying for DVD sets. And they're like $7.49 or up. So that was a good deal on that. So like I said, you guys could technically consider it an L. It's not really much profit, but I was already here anyways, stopping at UPS to drop off some other packages. So I don't come to this place often just because their prices are a little bit higher than normal. And then on top of that, the actual content of the store isn't great. They had barely any board games. They had a bunch of like repeat copies of stuff. It looks like the other stores just dump things on them. You guys could see those Disney Infinity figures. If you watch my other video where I talked about the other Disney Infinity figures, they're gonna make me a bunch of money, which I'll point to right there, I think, maybe right there. Right there. Anyways, so if you guys watch that video, you'll see that those same Disney Infinity figures are now here for about the same price. So it looks like they redistributed them instead of just keeping them all at the one store. I think they figured that somebody like me was going to come by and buy them all on half price day. So that's probably why they redistributed them, but no shame in the game. I got in, made my money, and got out. So anyways, another fun fact, I've sold 6 or 7 of those so far. Out of the 83 we picked up. So those have been selling decently well. I'm selling one every couple days. So I didn't expect them to fly off the shelves, but they should be all gone by the time, you know, August or Christmas rolls around. One of the two. Either way, let's go to the next Goodwill. This one's closer to my house. This one's more consistent. This is where I make most of my money. So let's go ahead and go there and see what we can do. Hey, me again. Just want to interject real quick and say that I didn't end up recording in the Goodwill. The reason I didn't record in there was because it was loud, it was busy, and while it was a very, very cool Goodwill and I really like the people there, people are always coming up to me and talking to me, so it would have been a real pain to actually go through the store and record. I'll try and do it a little bit more if I can. As you saw with the first one, I did a little bit of voiceover because that one was loud too, but I definitely wanted to get some inside store film. Let me know down below if you guys actually like the inside of the store stuff. Being able to see the products on the shelves while I'm actually picking them up live. I'm gonna do another video talking about what to look for, but you guys can always point stuff out to me if I miss it. I'm always learning, always willing to educate about that. Now, let's go over what I found at the next Goodwill. All right, guys, so I just got out of that Goodwill. The cool thing about this Goodwill is they are the nicest people. They have the best prices, and they're absolutely, they get it. They get that their prices are kind of ridiculous, and I understand like some of the pricing and the way they do it, because obviously they're a business and they try to make money, but all your inventory is donated, right? So when you see people regularly and you know people and you recognize their face, those are the people you want to give the best deals to, right? So first thing I got was this Pokemon Heroes the movie. I've been like trying to get my old Pokemon DVD collection up to snuff because I'm going to be setting up my streaming room and stuff too for my Twitch. I'll plug that right below if you guys are interested in like gaming content like Minecraft, Call of Duty, stuff like that. Feel free to go ahead and give me a follow down there. I definitely appreciate you guys coming out to that. But I'm trying to get this up to snuff so that way I can kind of get all my Pokemon card collection, all that stuff in the background with a couple other things, just all set up, make it look good and pretty for when I do my live streams. The next thing I found was very cool. It's this Escape Room the Game Family Edition. Now I didn't think much of it, but I did notice that it was brand new sealed, so I ended up getting this. Actually ended up being $5.59 because she only rung it in for $5.59. And she looked at the tag and she said, I'll give it to you for $5.59. So they're very, very, very nice and good people here. And then the other thing I found, which I'm glad I asked about, was a Monopoly City game. Now this is an older board game. I think this came out in 2009, so it is pretty old, over 10 years old. Now, those Monopoly board games that are older do go for a premium in the collectors on Amazon. eBay probably not so much, but Amazon they do sell for quite a good penny. So I'll put the comp right here so that way you guys can see it. But I'm looking about $35-ish. Now, normally their board games are like anywhere from like $5.50 to like $7.50, upwards of like $10 sometimes if they're brand new sealed. The cool thing about it was because it didn't have a price on it, I asked up front and the manager happened to be up there. He said, you know what? I see you all the time. Let's do $5. And he said, you know what? I see you way more than all the time. So let's do $2.50. So he cut it all the way down to $2.50 for me. A huge shout out to that guy. I don't want to mention the location because I don't know if he's 100% allowed to do that. And I don't want to get him in trouble. I would assume since he's the manager, he wouldn't do anything to put his job in jeopardy. But just to be sure, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of the people that are taking care of me. Without further ado, let's let's go home. We'll get some stuff organized and go through a little bit of inventory. I want to talk about some of that stuff because I want to show you guys it's not all sunshine and rainbows in these videos. Yes, I did walk out of there with quite a bit of profit just off of a couple items, but then again, there's never a guaranteed chance of making this money, and the stuff still has to sell. Let's go ahead and get home and go over that real quick. All right. Now that we're home, I just want to talk about a few things. First, I want to say this isn't a go quit your job and go out thrifting video. I mostly do these videos as a hobby, and the thrifting itself is what's keeping me afloat right now.
In terms of money, we have no money.
The world of thrifting can be highly risky and highly lucrative at the same time. You'll never know what you're gonna find, you never know what you're gonna stumble into, but at the same time, you never know if you're gonna make enough money for that month. So I always suggest that you make sure you save up money and make sure you have some money if you wanna decide that you do need to do this full time or that you want to do it full time. Because if you were to go in this industry without a savings account, that's chock full of money just in case, that would be a horrible idea. But seriously, what are you doing? But seriously, by using thrift stores in your area, going to garage sales, cleaning out storage units, and on top of that, even hitting retail arbitrage, which I'm hoping to get a couple videos out about soon. And I'm not just trying to convince you, but I am gonna definitely show you guys. So definitely subscribe, follow down below, just follow along in my journey of thrifting and seeing how I can sustain my income here, and just kind of follow along with the adventure here. I'm hoping to eventually pay off a house completely off of thrifting. So that would be a huge goal of mine. And then always remember, just make sure you're on the lookout for high quality items or weird things that you could possibly come up with. I don't know how to emphasize this enough, but weird stuff sells. My next video that I'm going to be posting sometime next week will definitely have a view of what to look after, what kind of to look out for, and what kind of weird things to buy. For example, this M&M's mug, like most people would just pass it up, but a set of these, which I have right here, that has all four of like I'll call them the OG M&Ms on them. These are vintage and they sell well. So this type of stuff is what you need to keep an eye out. Definitely for me, the freedom of being able to kind of work whenever I want, take off when I need to, is a huge step up for me. Obviously, I still have videos I want to post on certain days. I still have Twitch streams that I want to do, and I still have shipping and stuff to get out at certain days that needs to happen. But on top of that, I do have a flexibility that I can go on vacation for a week and shut down my store, or that I can put it on vacation mode and people can still order stuff, but they won't get it shipped till next week.
What the dog doing?
My dog has decided to play with the loudest toy he can find at this time. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling, so I'll wrap it up here, guys. I just want to let you know, thank you so much for all of you that are currently subscribed, and if you hit that like, that definitely helps me a lot. If you have any questions or comments down below, please make sure to go ahead and leave them in the comment section. I always read every comment and I always respond to them, so definitely, if you have the time, please write a message to me, or if you've been a full-time reseller, tell me what your experience has been. Either way, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and make sure you click on whatever the YouTube algorithm thinks that you want to watch next.